right. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Being here in Paris to me is a very big deal. The real question is going to be, is something going to happen, or is it going to be more talk? Because we've had years and years of talk, but now it's time for action, and it has to happen fast because the meter's ticking. That's how I see it.
Again, probably, offline.
Something's going to happen here, and I think everybody realizes that if it doesn't happen, if you don't come to some conclusion from this conference, if it doesn't happen, there may not be another chance.
You've been an eco activist for many years, decades. Can you just explain, if you don't mind, if it's not too personal?
Now is the right time, but the question is, so much damage has occurred in the last 25 years when people were not listening. How much time is left and how many resources are left to protect? I think that's the key.
Mr. Redford, I want to get your advice on this.
A few years ago I wondered. I don't wonder so much anymore. I think his heart is in it. I think it's a question of what his opposition is. He's up against tremendous odds because you're dealing with people who are so committed to living in the past. They don't adhere to climate change. They deny. They're the deniers. And usually the deniers are people who are afraid of change. And since I think change is inevitable, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. If you try to hang on to not changing, you're going to be left behind. And I think that's what you see, this division now between certain people, mostly in the Republican Party, who are trying to resist the idea of climate change. And you just can't do that because it's just happening, whether they like it or not.
Leadership who are actually dealing with these issues, and I know you have an event tomorrow at UNESCO as well. Yeah. Do you feel?
So thinking about years ago when we were talking about some of us who were committed to the environment and more to nature, we're talking about the threat of climate change, but it's going on deaf ears. So there's a loss of time. But now what's happening is that the tide is moving in that direction. And the people that control the denying part of it are losing traction. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this battle, this kind of tension. And I'm only hopeful that the people that support the idea of climate change before it is too late.
Not more than promoted, will actually be aided by the discussions here.
I think, forget Congress. I mean, Congress is so polarized right now, nothing is happening. It's where all the deniers are and so forth. So you're wasting your time to depend on Congress because I think it has to go outside the political system. So that's why I was very encouraged by Pope Francis coming. Because for me, he was a game changer because he has tremendous following, obviously. And he came and he put climate change on the first part of his agenda when he hit the United States. And what he did was, which I thought was fabulous, he said, this is above politics. This is not, this is moral. This is a moral issue. This is not a political issue. If it's a political issue, it'll starve to death. This is a moral issue. And when he said that, I thought, thank God he's put it in the right frame, because it is. And it just doesn't affect the United States. It's everybody. It's all human nature. So I thought that was very encouraging.